now that most people are asleep, I'll see if I can give you a good tour. So, here's a lot of the cabins and a lot of the seating areas. General store, lobby, restaurant. And then this building over here was the bar. That noise is the generator. This is a hangout area for hikers. More charging, although we have some in the yurt. Showers, laundry. This building is bathroom. And over there they have horses for horse rides and packing trips and things like that. I am officially back on trail. I took the 10 o'clock shuttle from Kenny Meadows to get back to Sonora Pass. So I was in Kenny Meadows for about 24 hours. It is a very, very overwhelming place for me, or at least was yesterday, because unlike Kenny Meadows South, which was mainly just hiker place, Kenny Meadows North, hikers are actually the minority, at least on the weekends in July. There were so many people out, people to come there for vacation. They have cabins as a base for hiking, camping, I don't know, fishing. They have horseback rides. So it was very, very chaotic, but had a good stay there. It actually got pretty cold in the yurt overnight, which felt nice. And Emily actually did make it last night, just because of the weather. She wanted to get in earlier instead of today. She got in last night so she could dry out her stuff and do laundry and things like that. So we spent a good amount of time last night and this morning together, and now I'm pushing ahead to get into Tahoe faster. So I'll get Tahoe Thursday and leave Saturday. She'll get in Friday and leave Monday. So I'm feeling very sad right now and just very out of it. Besides, when I very first started the trail, this is the first time I've left by myself with no plans to be hiking with anyone or, you know, meet anyone at the next town or anything like that. So feeling quite sad about it. I know, you know, this is what I chose to do. At least with Emily, you know, we talked about, do I prioritize making sure I get to camp on time by end of September, or ideally even earlier so I can celebrate Chad's birthday with him, or slowing down and being with people, you know. And at least right now, for me, the decision felt better to say I'm gonna keep going while I feel good. But even though that felt like the right decision, it's still sad. You know, it's been almost 650 miles for me, and I still don't have people that I consistently hike with or plan to do the rest of the trail with. And so it's making me feel, you know, like a loner. It's not making me feel very good. So maybe that'll change around, but, you know, also at 1,000 miles into the trail for everyone else, everyone seems to have either, you know, they want to be hiking by themselves or they have their groups they hike with. So, you know, things change always. I can't plan for what's going to happen, but I will try to adjust as best I can for the next week. Just planning to do this solo. As you can maybe see, it's starting to drizzle a little bit. The debate you have to have when it's raining is, how hot is it? Would you rather be wet from sweat or wet from rain? So it's already been drizzling for the last 20-30 minutes, but it started raining a little bit harder. The drizzling I was okay with, it felt good, and it's still a light rain, but just more than a drizzle. I know if that keeps up, then I'll get soaked and I'll get cold, so rain jacket came out. Based on the amount of videos I take of the flowers, y'all know I'm pretty obsessed with these wildflowers. They're so gorgeous. I haven't been filming much this afternoon because, as you can see, it's raining. It's been raining on off and on all afternoon. This rain jacket that I knew was cheap when I got it is wetting through, so my sun hoodie underneath is getting a little bit damp, but if I keep moving, it's not cold. I was originally planning to only do 14 miles out of Kenny Meadows, which was about a half mile back. But to take some of the sadness out of leaving Emily, I think I'm going to focus on a different goal and focus on and try to make it to Tahoe in 3 days instead of 4 days. So that'll be 74 miles over the next 3 days. So if I do 20 miles today, then I'll have 27-ish the next 2 days. And my reason is after Tahoe, I want to start doing more than 25-mile days anyways, but why wait if, we're not in the Sierra anymore, so why wait? And this way I can do 2 in a row, see how I feel, and then know I'll have a 0 in Tahoe to recover if I'm not doing good. But it does mean I have another 5 miles to go in the rain, but, it is what it is. Everything will be dry. Everything inside my tent will be dry tonight. I'm just a soaked rat right now. My feet were just damp from the rain, but now walking through all this brush, they're soaking wet. I can feel puddles in my shoe. I just made it to camp at 6:40, which means I have done 19.3 miles and about 3,700 feet of climbing today, starting with getting off the shuttle at Sonora Pass. It is, as you can see, currently not raining, so I get a set of my tent, thankfully, as it's dry. This is the campsite. I'm thinking this will be where I put my tent right here, because, I can thankfully, the fact that it has rained, I can see, where there were puddles and things like that. But I'm going to scout around and try and find the best spot. Milkman should be coming there too. He's a hiker I met weeks ago after the aqueduct, but I've seen around since then, so he's gonna be here too, and he also is gonna try to do the 3 days to Tehachapi. So now to just figure out where to set up tent. Good morning from day 48. It is 6:10. I started hiking just a few minutes ago. I have my rain jacket on. It's not raining, it's just a little bit chilly. I had tried not to wear my rain jacket ever until it was actually raining, because it was cheap and I didn't want to damage whatever water resistance or waterproof it had. And I still shouldn't, but honestly it's on top, it's easy to pack back up, so here we are. My new shoes, yesterday was my first day wearing my new shoes. They felt amazing. Not any different. They're the upgraded version of the old pair of shoes I had. I don't feel a difference between the versions, but it feels nice to have some cushion on my feet again, and then obviously now I have holes, but they do not look new anymore after yesterday's rain. What else? Today, so I said this yesterday, but just to reiterate and maybe explain, I left Kenny Meadows on Monday. Originally I was planning to make it to Tahoe in 4 days, so get there on Thursday, 0 Friday. But just because, I mean, I have no specific reason, but just because, why not see if I can push myself if I'm going to start doing these miles anyways, and right before 0 when it's only going to be 2 days of long miles. I decided I'm going to try and do it in 3 days. I camped yesterday with someone named Milkman who I met a long time ago after the aqueduct. He actually took some time off for a wedding and got back on, and he is a very fast hiker who was doing like 25s or more throughout the Sierra. So we were seeing each other the last like couple days on and off before Kenny Meadows. And then, I mean, he took an hour earlier shuttle out of Kenny Meadows back to trail than me. But we were basically yesterday, we were on a similar pace of going to and hanging out under trees from storms and things like that. We camped at the same spot yesterday. And he said he's gonna try and do Tahoe in 3 days as well, which for him, if he was doing 25s plus in the Sierra, should be very, very easy. But with that, then we may be camping again together tonight. We'll see though. But the plan, 26.5 miles tonight, would leave 27.1 tomorrow, and we would be in Tahoe. You know, it's not quite ideal to get there late in the evening before trying to hitch into a town. But the other option beyond 26.5 today is there's no other campsite for another 2 or 3 miles past that, and I don't know that I want to do that many miles. So just gonna take it easy, you know, do whatever pace feels comfortable, not trying to rush like, you know, when I had to make a certain shuttle time or anything like that. So just take it easy, get there when I get there, take breaks when I need to. I am switching up, I did switch up my food a little bit this time. Not by choice, but just because, you know, I had to use what was available at the general store at Kenny Meadows. So I am trying Pop-Tarts and Larry and Lenny's Complete Cookies again. I say that because I had them my first week on trail. I've had them before and liked them, but my first week on trail, I really, really hated them. I think part of that was because it was so dry. Like, you know, I was in Southern California and it was so dry, and then those foods are dry. So I'm hoping now that I have access to water, it won't be as horrible. But if so, I can force myself to eat it for the next 2 days just to get to town. The good news of the morning is that Pop-Tarts and Lenny and Larry cookies are now back as an option in rotation for food. I've obviously had the Pop-Tart, I'm on the Lenny and Larry's, and they no longer make me want to throw up like they did when I tried my first week on trail. You probably can't see, but there's a duck down in that lake. That sounds weird to be excited about, but just kind of signifies we're out of the Sierra, because in the Sierras I never saw any ducks. I imagine it's just because it was too cold, so it's nice to see them again. Just left behind some trail magic. This older man lives in Carson City, which is about a 40-mile drive from the trail. And he drives up, does a short little day hike for himself, and just sits there and does trail magic for the hikers. So I had a banana, Gatorade, and a fig bar, and sat and chatted with him for about 20 minutes before continuing on my way. This feels a little bit like being back in Southern California. I mean, it's not hot, but it definitely feels hotter than it was in the Sierras at the high altitude there. And then back to being a little bit sandy and dry. So hopefully this doesn't last too long. It is 3 o'clock and I was originally only going to go another 4 miles. I've done 22.6. So my original plan was 26.5, but I'm feeling really good and I've got time in the day, so as long as I continue feeling good, I think I'm gonna push it a little bit further and go about 8 more miles and get 30.5 miles. A new record mileage for me for the day will set me up better. Only 24 miles in the Tahoe tomorrow, and if I'm feeling good, why not go for it? I've made it to the original place I was planning to camp at 26.8 miles. It is 4:25. My energy is definitely dropping, but I'm not hurt or anything like that. So I think I'm going to stop for a quick break and then keep going because, like I said, not hurt. It's only 4:25. I'd like to see how it feels to do 30 miles, see how sore I am the next day, and just make tomorrow easier. It is 6:05 and I am very proud of myself because I get to say I hiked 30.5 miles today in 12 hours, and it was 5,636 feet of climbing. Now the trail, even though that was a lot of climbing, the trail did feel very, very smooth. It was very gradual climbing compared with Sierras. At no point today did I feel like I was pushing too hard or too fast, or not taking enough breaks. And I was doing great until probably the last 5 miles is when my energy started to flag, and then the last 2 miles I was really, really hungry, but I was telling myself I didn't need to stop to eat. I would just get to camp and then I could eat. So camp is small but good. Now I need to set up tent so I can get out of these shoes and get off my feet.